Imagine this. You're at the checkout counter, and your heart sinks as the cashier tells you the total amount due. You start to panic, wondering how you managed to spend so much money again. But what if I told you that there's a way to avoid this situation altogether? Yes, my friends, the solution is budgeting. I know, budgeting can sound boring and tedious, but hear me out. It's like having a personal financial GPS, guiding you toward your financial goals and ensuring you don't get lost in the maze of expenses. So grab your favorite beverage, settle in, and let's explore some tips and tricks that will help you build a better budget and take control of your financial journey. Tips 1. Track your spending. The first step in building a better budget is to track your spending. To begin tracking your spending, start by listing all of your sources of income and all of your expenses. This includes everything from your rent or mortgage payment to your daily coffee habit. Be sure to include both fixed expenses, like your rent, and variable expenses, like groceries or entertainment. Once you have a list of your expenses, categorize them based on their importance and prioritize your spending accordingly. For example, your rent or mortgage payment should be at the top of the list, followed by necessary expenses like utilities, groceries, and transportation. After you've categorized your expenses, start tracking your spending by recording every purchase you make. You can use a budgeting app or simply write your expenses down in a notebook or spreadsheet. Make sure to review your spending regularly and adjust your budget as needed. By tracking your spending, you'll gain valuable insights into your financial habits and be able to make informed decisions about where to cut back and where to allocate more resources. With practice, tracking your spending will become second nature, and you'll be well on your way to achieving your financial goals. Tips 2. Set goals. One of the most important tips for building a better budget is to set financial goals. Having specific, measurable goals can help you stay motivated and focused on achieving the outcomes you desire. Whether you want to save for a down payment on a house, pay off debt, or build an emergency fund, setting clear financial goals can help you get there. When setting financial goals, it's important to be realistic and specific. Instead of setting a vague goal like save more money, set a specific target such as save $5,000 for a down payment on a house in the next 12 months. This way, you have a clear target to aim for and can measure your progress along the way. Once you've set your financial goals, break them down into smaller, more manageable steps. For example, if you want to save $5,000 in 12 months, break that down into a monthly savings goal of $417. This way, you have a clear plan for how much money you need to save each month to reach your goal. Make sure to celebrate your progress along the way. Achieving financial goals can take time and effort, so it's important to recognize your hard work and celebrate your successes. Whether it's treating yourself to a small reward or simply acknowledging your progress, celebrating your achievements can help you stay motivated and committed to achieving your financial goals. Setting financial goals is an essential part of building a better budget. By setting specific, measurable goals and breaking them down into manageable steps, you can stay motivated and on track toward achieving your financial dreams. Tips 3. Prioritize your expenses. When building your budget, it's essential to prioritize your expenses. Prioritizing your expenses is a key tip for building a better budget. When creating a budget, it's important to differentiate between needs and wants and prioritize your spending accordingly. This means making sure you're meeting your basic needs before spending money on non-essential items. To prioritize your expenses, start by listing all of your fixed expenses like rent or mortgage payments, utilities, insurance, and transportation. These are the expenses that you must pay every month to maintain your quality of life. Once you've listed these expenses, move on to variable expenses like groceries, entertainment, and clothing. When prioritizing your expenses, consider your long-term financial goals. If you're saving for a down payment on a house or paying off debt, you may need to prioritize these goals over other expenses like dining out or shopping. By focusing on your long-term goals, you can make sure that your money is going toward the things that are most important to you. It's also important to be honest with yourself about your spending habits. If you find that you're spending too much money on non-essential items, consider cutting back or finding ways to reduce those expenses. For example, you could start cooking at home instead of dining out or cancel subscriptions to services that you don't use. Tips 4. Cut back on unnecessary expenses. Cutting back on unnecessary expenses is a valuable tip for building a better budget. It's easy to overspend on things that we don't really need, like expensive clothing, dining out, or subscription services. By identifying and reducing these unnecessary expenses, we can free up more money to put toward our financial goals. To cut back on unnecessary expenses, start by reviewing your spending habits and identifying areas where you tend to overspend. For example, if you find that you're spending too much money on coffee or dining out, consider making your own coffee at home or packing your lunch instead of eating out. Another way to cut back on unnecessary expenses is to negotiate your bills. Many service providers, like cable companies or internet providers, will offer discounts or promotional rates if you ask. Additionally, consider canceling subscriptions or memberships that you don't use or don't provide enough value for the cost. Consider finding ways to reduce expenses without sacrificing the quality of life. For example, you could switch to a cheaper cell phone plan or purchase generic versions of household products instead of name-brand items. Cutting back on unnecessary expenses is a valuable tip for building a better budget. By reviewing your spending habits, negotiating bills, and finding ways to reduce expenses without sacrificing the quality of life, you can free up more money to put toward your financial goals. Tips 5. Review your budget regularly. Finally, it's important to review your budget regularly to make sure you're on track to meet your goals. Your financial situation and goals may change over time, so it's important to regularly review and adjust your budget as needed. When reviewing your budget, start by tracking your spending to see where your money is going. This will help you identify areas where you may be overspending or where you could cut back. Use this information to make adjustments to your budget and prioritize your expenses accordingly. To track your spending, review your budget on a regular basis to make sure you're on track toward achieving your financial goals. If you find that you're not making progress toward your goals, consider making adjustments to your budget or finding ways to increase your income. Make sure to celebrate your successes along the way. Reviewing your budget regularly can be a lot of work, but it's important to recognize the progress you've made and celebrate your achievements. Whether it's paying off a credit card or reaching a savings milestone, celebrating your successes can help keep you motivated and on track toward achieving your financial goals. Reviewing your budget regularly is a crucial part of building a better budget. By tracking your spending, making adjustments to your budget, and celebrating your successes, you can stay motivated and on track toward achieving your financial goals. Building a better budget takes time, effort, and discipline, but the payoff is worth it. By tracking your spending, setting goals, prioritizing your expenses, cutting back on unnecessary expenses, and reviewing your budget regularly, you can take control of your finances and work towards achieving your financial goals. Remember, building a better budget is a continuous process, and it's okay if you make mistakes along the way. The important thing is to keep learning, stay committed, and keep working towards your goals. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more financial tips and advice. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.